I'm James Durrant. I'm here today with James Ramsden and we're going to cook one of his beautiful dishes.
We're doing braised short ribs with smoked chilli and a salt-baked potato.
Fantastic, let's get going. Right, we're going to start off sealing it in the tip pan. We've got a wonderful piece of, couple of pieces of short ribs here, or Jacob's ladder as they're called. So salt, pepper. I'm going to just rub the oil onto the meat as opposed to a pan. I think if we were cooking in a pan, then I'd be putting oil into the pan. Yeah. But I think, you know, as it's like this, I think to rub the oil onto the meat, it's a fantastic cut of meat. I mean, I'm a big fan of using the cheaper cuts of meat that you've got to spend some time and love and attention and cook and really kind of look after them, because I think actually, you know, the flavour is so much better. Yeah. From the cheaper cuts.
They're often the ones that worked harder, aren't they?
Of course, that's it. And there's the fat in there, there's the bones in there. All that slow cooking is going to bring out all them flavours. And actually, do you know what? It's going to be a much nicer piece of meat to eat.
But the short ribs, for me, are particularly epic, and it just looks cool. Kind of this kind of Desperate Dan thing with the bone in it, and yeah, you could kind of muck around with it however you wanted, really. And this, you know, once this has had its 3 hours in the oven, it's just going to fall off the bone and basically be shreddable and it'll look like a chilli with your Desperate Dan bones sticking out. Right, do you want to start chopping the onion, I guess, next, and the celery? Sure.
Let's get some oil in the pan to start this off.
Bit of salt and pepper. Gonna season every layer. And I guess, well, 10-15 minutes till it's good and soft. Bit of colour on there, as you say. You'd always chuck some butter in, couldn't you, to help the colour along?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, it's certainly not something that I'm ever shy of, throwing butter into my food, to be honest with you.
Beautiful.
That's starting to colour slightly now, so I'd say we need to get some spices in there.
Ground coriander.
Coriander, and what, 2 teaspoons of each?
I think 2 teaspoons of ground. I'd kind of 1 teaspoon of cumin. Just because it's a bit punchier, but I'm never too fussy about quantities. I'm a bung it in kind of cook. Should we chop these chipotles?
Yeah, fine. You've had them soaking for.
So these are just smoked jalapeno chilies that come dried. You can get them in supermarkets now, big ones, but otherwise you order them online. Yeah. And they add amazing smokiness. You only need a couple. Yeah. And then you soak them in boiling water for a few minutes just to soften them up. Okay. And just they make a chilli for me. You know, a chilli is not a chilli without a bit of smoked chipotle in there. And how much heat do you get from them? Are they super hot or? They have a good punch, but you know, it's a chilli. Of course, yeah. It needs a punch.
Chili's going there next. Yep.
A couple of chipotle there. We've got a bit of cinnamon stick.
Cinnamon sticks. Dried
oregano.
And how much orange do you want?
Just a tiny little bit. Just want that back note of orange.
Yep. And bay leaves?
And a bay leaf, just solo. It's all coming together, isn't it, James? And then red wine. And the equivalent of about a large glass of red wine. Yep. 250 mils or so.
Brilliant.
You just want to simmer that for, well, I don't know, what would you say, 5 minutes, just to get the harsh alcohol off? Yeah, I think it's important, and that also kind of takes that chilli that's fried onto the bottom of the pan off the bottom and brings all that roasted flavour into it all. Would you call it deglazing?
Deglazing, yeah. So what's your background then? I mean, where's your passion and drive come from when it comes to food?
A combination of greed and I just love feeding people, including myself. The pleasure of, especially with a dish like this, which is just kind of family style, the pleasure of sticking a big pot in the middle of the table and making people happy. It's needy. We need about 250 grams of passata, so that's about that.
Brilliant.
And then, in the short ribs.
Yeah, in with the short ribs.
We might need to cut one.
Yeah, we're going to cut one in half, I think, aren't we? In with the short ribs.
So it doesn't need to, you know, it's not like a stew. This is more of a braise, so you don't need to cover the meat totally. It's just going to kind of gently sink into the braising liquor as it cooks. It's going to have about 3 hours in the oven, so these are going to be meltingly tender when they're done.
Lid on, in the oven for 3 hours on 160, yeah?
Perfect.
So the ribs are in the oven. They're in there for 3 hours. You're going to show me now how you bake your potatoes.
Yeah, well, this is a lovely, simple way to do spuds or any kind of baked thing is in a salt crust.
Yeah.
So you're not going to eat all the salt that's going in there, but it kind of keeps all the moisture in, and it means you've got a lovely, well-seasoned shell, which is crucial with the jacket potato. Yes. So you need a few egg whites, 3 or 4, depending on obviously on how many potatoes you're doing, but this is to serve 6. So let's go 3. And they just need a little bit of whisking.
Yeah.
You're not making meringue.
No.
And then about 200 grams of salt, which isn't probably all of that. Let's say about that. Just give that a mix. So just that can go onto there. And get the spuds and just kind of pack the salt in around. Enough salt here. You know, it's part of the joy of the jacket potato is having that kind of lovely salty, kind of crispy outside and the soft, fluffy inside.
Yeah.
And these can go in along with the short ribs, depending on the size of the potatoes and your oven temperature, probably for 1.5 to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Give them a little prod after an hour and a half, see how they're doing. But yeah, they'll be quite happy in their salt crust for a wee while. And you can go to the pub.
Look at that.
There we go. Looking good.
Smells amazing.
Yeah, and as you can see, the salt just kind of comes off the potatoes very neatly. And we're good to go. It's easy as that.
Look at that.
I mean, it slightly depends on the fat quantity of the ribs, but if it dries out during the cooking, you can always add a bit more water to it. But that looks pretty juicy to me.
No, I think that's about perfect.
Should we add a little garnish? We've got some coriander here.
Right, let's have a taste. It looks fantastic.
I was hoping you'd say that. You go first.
You happy with that?
I am. I think it all came down to how well you browned the meat.
Thank you very much, James. That was fantastic. Really tasty. That was James's slow braised short ribs with chipotle chilies and salt baked potatoes. I'm going to have some more.
Me too.